Welcome back, you gorgeous weirdos. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm so glad you're here. It is that time again for the monthly Manny and Me, or Manny by Me, subscription box from Maniology. We are going to get right into it. So these boxes I do buy with my own money. I am not paid by Maniology to do these, but y'all seem to like them. So we're going to talk a little bit about this month's subscription box for June. This whole box is themed Wizard of Oz. Now, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. I do love The Wizard of Oz. It was one of my all-time favorite movies when I was a kid. I watched it every year for Christmas. I'll get back into that, but here's what you get in the box. Every month you get a gift. This month's gift is a pair of stainless steel scissors, and they seem like they're really sturdy, and I'm definitely going to be using those, especially for like stamping and decals and all that good stuff. You get your sticker. You get 2 stamping plates and 2 stamping polishes. Usually you get stamping polishes. It's a little bit different this month, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. So here is plate number 1. As you can see, lots of adorable Wizard of Oz images on this plate. And here is plate number 2, also Wizard of Oz themed. This is the one I'm going to be using in today's video. So since I'm not entirely sure still how I feel about these, I decided to do something a little bit more playful and non-traditional. We'll get there when we get there. These are the 2 polishes. This one is a regular nail polish, so you can use that on your regular nails. Regular nails? You know what I mean. This is the stamping polish. This is Emerald City, which I'm going to go ahead and get swatched. It is a very, very deep emerald green, as it should be from its name. It's absolutely beautiful color. I can see this getting a lot of use with trees and leaves and grass, especially moving from summer into fall. I know, I'm not rushing summer at all. But I'm just saying it's a good color to have in the collection because it will be good for other seasonal stuffs. The regular nail polish, it definitely should not be used for stamping. I can't see that going well. It does look like it could be full coverage if applied with a few coats, or it could be used even as a topper from the sporadic glitters that are in that polish. So here's what I'm going to do. I feel like just doing a 1-color dip manicure. You don't have to stamp over dip powder. You can stamp over anything you want, but I've been really falling back into love with dip powder, so that's what I'm going to do. I grabbed this color from Sassy Mouth's collection. I think it was the Sweet and Sour collection. If you haven't seen that collection yet, you'll need to. I did a video using another color from that collection. I think it was my last upload or a few uploads ago. It's very beginner-friendly, basic dip 101. So if you need help with that, I'll go ahead and leave that video up in the eye so you can check that out. But I'm just going to throw a coat of this on all of my nails. I'm actually going to do 3 coats. I'm only going to show you 2. This one will be in real time. The next one I'll speed up like crazy because I know y'all are not here to see the dips. I will leave timestamps down below, so if you want to fast forward to the stamping process, you can go ahead and jump right over to that. But I'm going to go ahead and get this green on all of the nails. But let's chit chat a little bit about the Wizard of Oz, shall we? And kind of one of the reasons why I did what I did with this manicure. So I don't know if y'all know the backstory behind the Wicked Witch of the West. If you're a fan of Wicked, then you probably know. I'm not going to go into detail about it because it's kind of traumatic, but after learning what I learned about the Wicked Witch of the West, I kind of feel for her, and I think she's just misunderstood. Like, she's been through some shit, and I get it. Like, I could totally relate to this chick. So I don't know. I've always been a fan of the villains, though. Like, almost every movie, every Disney movie, I should say, I'm a fan of the villains. Like, Ursula, I love Ursula. She's misunderstood. Maleficent, very misunderstood. I'm a fan of the villains. I don't know why. I think they're just, I don't know. I think they just been through some shit and people don't understand them. Speaking of Disney, I know, we're started off with Wizard of Oz and now we're on to Disney. Anyways, I'll get back to nails in a minute, but have y'all heard this theory about Snow White? I heard this theory about Snow White. You might want to pause this video for a few seconds if you don't want to hear this, because it has to do with things and stuff. I don't know. If you cover your ears if you don't want to hear things about Snow White. Anyways, I'll let you know when story time is over. I'll put context on the screen, so just mute me for a minute. So Snow White. I heard this theory about Snow White because she bites the poison apple and she quote unquote dies, right? But she goes to sleep, and then Prince Charming comes and kisses the dead body and wakes her up, and everyone lives happily ever after. But the theory that I heard was that Snow White never wakes up because the dwarfs, or somewhere in the story, I think it was the dwarfs, say even in death, Snow White is beautiful and whatever, whatever. So she's dead. Like dead ski. Dead ski. And the theory is that Prince Charming is not really a real life prince. He's actually like one of her guardian angels who comes and takes her to the big palace in heaven. And I'm like, that kind of tracks with Sir Walt Disney over there, who was like obsessed with death. And if you've done the deep dive into Walt Disney, then if you know, you know. I won't go into it in too much detail because that's a story for another day. I don't know why I know these things. I research the hell out of everything. But when I heard about Walt Disney and his preoccupation with death after losing his mom, I'm like, it all kind of makes sense now. Did you hear my New York come out? It all makes sense now. Jesus Christ. Anyways, I'm going to finish up the application of the dip. First coat, I'm going to dust off all the excess. I'm going to speed through the second coat, do a third one off camera. I'll do a little quick filing and buffing, but then we're going to get into the stamping, and I think this came out so freaking hilarious. I love it so much. You guys will have to let me know down below what you think. Anyways, hang out, vibe, I'll throw music on, and I'll see you back here for some filing. So I got all my dips done. That's 3 coats of that beautiful lime green color. If you wanted to do 2 coats of color and then cap it in clear, you totally could. But because I'm doing pour over method and not dipping into the jar, it's just a personal preference. It's whatever works for you. And the application gets pretty thin when you're doing pour over. It's a little bit thicker when you're doing dipping in. So since it was so thin, I did 3 coats instead of 2, and I don't need to cap and clear because I just didn't feel like it. You can if you want to. I don't require a lot of buffing or filing at all. This was so easy to apply. So as you're going to see, all I'm going to do for filing and shaping and buffing, I'm going to push back my cuticle a little bit to get into the space between my skin and that dip powder. And I'm just going to round out or clean up my cuticle area ever so slightly. There's not a whole lot that needs to be done. You can do as much or as little as you see fit. I'm going to graze around the perimeter, clean up the free edge and the sidewalls. I'll buff over everything with a buffing block, and then we're going to be ready for top coat and stamping. Apparently, I went ahead and did my dip top coat off camera, so I'm just going to go over one nail. I buffed off the top coat, and now I'll show you how to do dip powder top coat in case you haven't seen it before. Again, check out that video up in the eye. I might leave it down in the description box too if you need very beginner-friendly step-by-step on how to do this. I applied my activator. The dip top coat requires activator to dry properly. So you put down your coat of activator, you wait just a few seconds, up to a minute or two depending on your liquids and the instructions your company gives you. Wipe off any excess activator from the nail with a dry paper towel. Now we can start the top coat. So I use a 2-in-1 system, so my base and top is the same bottle. If you're using this is what you'll do. 1, 2, 3 swipes down the nail, wipe off the brush on a paper towel, and move on with your other nails. Then you'll repeat those same steps once you're done with all 5 nails. If you are using a different system, that's okay. You can just use your dip top coat the same exact way I'm using my 2-in-1 base and top. Again, make sure you're looking at the instructions from the company you're buying liquids from because they can vary slightly, although I have done this same exact method with almost every set of liquids I've used. And there have been dozens and dozens and dozens of liquids I've tested, and I really haven't had an issue, so it's pretty much my no-fail. I'm going to go ahead and get my shenanigans ready for stamping. This is going to be a little out of whack because I was really indecisive and didn't know what I wanted to do, but I really wanted to do Wicked Witch of the West homage, if you will. So we're going to do her stockings and her ruby slippers on one nail. And this is super duper easy. We're going to do reverse stamping. I'm just going to fill in the slippers with a red nail polish. I'll do some white for the stockings, get that on the nail. And then we're going to do the house. And it's kind of going to look like across two nails, like the house is on top of the Wicked Witch of the West, which I know is weird. But it's me. Would you expect anything less from me? Did y'all hear that? We're finally getting rain down here in Port St. Lucie. Thank the sweet Lord. And it's thundering a little bit. This is my favorite weather. I look forward to storm season literally all year long. If you know, you know. If you've been here for a minute, you know this is my favorite time of the year. I love a good thunderstorm. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and fill in this stamp, and I'm going to get that on the nail. I'm using sticky base coat on top of the dip top coat. Just so you know what I'm using to put the stamp on, I do use a sticky base coat. I always use a sticky base coat when I'm doing reverse stamping. If you are using gel products, you can do reverse stamping over cured gel base coat or gel primer. That will work too. But if you're not doing any gel or you don't want to do any gel, Maniology sticky base coat. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this in. I'll let y'all hang out. We'll do the house. We'll get those on the nails. Throw on the last little bit of top coat, and then we're going to be ready to go. So I went ahead and I got all the stamps on. I got them top coated. I used the smudge free top coat first, and then my Sally Hansen Miracle Gel, and this is what they are looking like. I'm so obsessed. This is so silly, but I'm kind of here for it. I'm going to finish off with some oil just to keep everything nice and moisturized and hydrated. I hope you guys found this entertaining, interesting, something. Let me know down below, and let me know if this is something you would do. I hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your day. I hope it's as beautiful as you are, and I will catch you in the next one. Love you. Bye.